silent before his accusers, prophecy fulfilled. What kind of person stays silent when falsely accused of a crime punishable by death? Over 700 years before Jesus, the prophet Isaiah described the Messiah's response to injustice with striking precision. He was oppressed, and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He was led as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before its shearers is silent, so he opened not his mouth. Isaiah 53:7. How does this prophecy connect to Jesus' trial in Matthew 27:12-14? Let's explore this powerful story. The story begins with Isaiah, who penned one of the most vivid and moving descriptions of the suffering servant. This passage, written centuries before Jesus' time, foretells the Messiah's demeanor during his darkest hour. Despite facing oppression and false accusations, he would remain silent, a profound act of humility and obedience to God's plan. Fast forward to the events leading up to Jesus' crucifixion. After being betrayed by Judas, Jesus was arrested and taken before the religious leaders. There, he endured a night of mock trials filled with false testimony and baseless accusations. Yet despite the lies hurled against him, Jesus remained silent, fulfilling Isaiah's prophecy. The fulfillment of this prophecy is explicitly recorded in Matthew 27:12-14. When Jesus was brought before Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, the religious leaders continued their onslaught of accusations. Pilate, astonished by Jesus' composure, asked him, "Do you not hear how many things they testify against you?" But Jesus gave no answer, not even to a single charge. His silence left Pilate marveling. It was not the silence of weakness or defeat, but of strength and purpose. Jesus knew that his mission was to fulfill the Father's will, and he chose to remain silent, like a lamb led to the slaughter. The imagery of a lamb is significant. In the Jewish tradition, lambs were sacrificed during Passover as a symbol of atonement for sin. By comparing Jesus to a silent lamb, Isaiah and the Gospel writers highlighted his role as the ultimate Passover lamb, who would take away the sins of the world. Imagine the tension in that moment. Pilate, a man of authority, was baffled by Jesus' refusal to defend himself. The crowd, whipped into a frenzy by the religious leaders, demanded his crucifixion. Yet Jesus remained calm and silent, fully aware that this path of suffering was the only way to bring salvation to humanity. Skeptics might argue that Jesus' silence was a sign of guilt or resignation, but how could someone orchestrate a prophecy written centuries earlier, aligning perfectly with events beyond their control? The fact that Jesus' silence matched Isaiah's description so precisely points to the divine nature of his mission. The prophecy of Isaiah 53:7 and its fulfillment in Matthew 27:12-14 reveal the depth of Jesus' humility and obedience. His silence was not a sign of weakness, but a powerful act of surrender to God's redemptive plan. In choosing silence, he showed a strength that confounds the world, a willingness to endure suffering for the sake of love. This story challenges us to reflect. How do we respond when faced with injustice? Jesus' example calls us to trust in God's plan, even when it's difficult to understand. His silence speaks volumes about his character and his mission. Will you accept the one who remained silent to save you?